So first of all, congratulations on the new record.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the first record that came before it, because that is, of course, how our listeners first discovered you guys.
Yeah.
And you did a lot of early work by yourself, is that right, Dan?
I did some, I mean, I guess just songwriting by myself, but quite early on started working with Woody, and then we all kind of came together and then decided to call it Bastille, and that's when we, I guess, properly started.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's been an interesting bunch of years, hasn't it?
It's nearly 7 years now we've been together.
Really?
Wow.
As Bastille, I mean, I've known you longer. But.
Wow. That's nuts.
So when you guys were starting out, you had a, you did singles on your own, and you were doing early videos as well by yourself before you really got hooked up with everybody else?
Yeah, so we made, we had a song called Overjoyed that was like one of our first singles, and we did it, well actually it started with a song of ours called Flaws, and we didn't have any money to make a video, so there was a film that I loved by Terrence Malick called Badlands, and I edited together, it's a very dark film, and but it beautifully shot, and so kind of edited it into quite an upbeat video for this song of ours. And then we kind of worked with friends. It was a friend of Kyle's actually who directed one of our first videos, and I was just like running around trying to help out on the video shoot, just driving people around and cooking them really terrible pasta. But yeah, I think it started out quite DIY. I think like most people do. We made our videos, we made our logo, we ran everything ourselves, and we used to tour around the UK in like a car that we borrowed from our friend's mum, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but I think when you're at that stage, you don't really, I don't know, it was kind of very hand to mouth. So we were just thinking about like a couple of weeks ahead rather than any further than that.
So it must have been fairly gratifying when the album came out and went right to #1.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it was really kind of unexpected for us. And also we kind of, I think the way we're quite proud of how we sort of did things, and we worked hard, and we built a real live following, and online as well. But there was never really any, like in the UK, there was never really any kind of buzz around us. So it kind of came out of nowhere for us and for everybody. But I think I guess we'd done the groundwork, but then suddenly you're in this world where you have an album out and it's in the actual charts alongside, proper bands and proper artists, and it was very surreal. But
yeah, I think we didn't really appreciate fully how, like, everyone thinks when you're in a band is like, if you get signed, it's like, right, that's it, done, you made it. But then you've got to jump through so many other hoops to even get like the artwork approved and get things like mixes approved, what single was going to happen. So a lot of bands get signed and don't even get to release an album. So yeah, we feel quite lucky to have 2 out now. It's like,
yeah, it's nuts.
Well, we would like to thank you for jumping through this particular hoop today, because I know that you guys are busy. Biggest difference between making the first record and making album #2 for you guys?
This was our actual job this time around.
And we were a lot busier making this album than when the first one was made.
Like the first one, I guess the sessions would have started for, I guess, even 2010 maybe with Mark. But so like it's kind of drawn out, but like in between us doing our actual day jobs and stuff at the time, so yeah, try and carve out a bit of free time, turn up, put something down, and then go again. Whereas this time, so you co-wrote with Mark backstage, didn't you, and co-produced, and then we all got together in London en masse.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was. I think there's a kind of element of like bedroom band to us that it's a lot of work on a laptop, and I guess making a studio out of whatever you have. Right. That most people seem to do these days, but like, I think. Yeah, with the first record, it's such a cliche, but you've got ages to make a first record, and then suddenly, you want to make a second one, but the norms of like being in one place and doing it after work or whatever, what didn't exist anymore, and it was trying to fit it into touring and traveling and trying to find space to sort of in your head to like be inspired and be creative and all that kind of stuff, and it was fun. It was challenging. It definitely took longer than it maybe would have if we just stopped, because we tried to do it all, and I think we tried to, I think we were just so overwhelmed by the reception to our first album and the fact that it allowed us to go to so many places that we, found ourselves trying to make an album in the context of that, and so it means that this record, there were bits of it that were recorded in the UK and bits in like Argentina and in the US and in all over Europe, and which is quite nice for us, because if looking back through the record, you can kind of, it's almost a weird patchwork trace of all the places that we've been, which is cool.
are you guys going to do that again, or is there going to be a time when you guys actually get a break and get some chances to be yourselves?
I think that we would like to do. I've been doing a lot of writing, which has been really fun. But I think we're keen to sort of stop at the end of the summer and actually make the record properly in London or wherever actually, but just to be somewhere and make the record as a whole, rather than. I think with Wild World, we made it over the course of the 3 years, and we wanted to try lots of different things, and it took a while to sort of really get a sense of what the album was going to be, and then when the theme kind of came together and the idea that it was going to be like a bit of a kind of soundtrack or I guess like a soundtrack to a film that could have massive variety in it, it clicked into place. I think with the next record we want to do something that feels way more cohesive.
So while you're on the road, is it hard to keep up with what's going on at home? I mean, the Premier League's coming to an end. Do you guys have a team that you're excited about, or do you guys fight about that?
I'm the only. Well, I don't know. Carl's a semi-football fan too, aren't you? So Carl's QPR, who are in the Championship, one below. I'm a diehard Plymouth Argyle fan who just got promoted from the 4th to the 3rd tier. Come on, you Greens. But yeah, Premier League wise, I don't think either of us really care. Like, okay, you get a lot of plastic fans who are like, oh, I follow Chelsea. Like, where do you live? Like Newcastle. Was like, well, it's nowhere near where you grew up.
So who do you support?
Plymouth Argyle.
Where do you live?
Where do
you live? Sorry, where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live?
Can't hear you.
Where were you born? What's the point?
Oh yeah, where were you born?
Raised in Plymouth, mate.
That's very, very political of you there.
So driving, America's obviously, especially out this part, lots of open space. So you got lots of time in the van. Do you guys binge watch anything that you guys are like into, or is it games that you play, or?
Yeah, it's just a combination, really. Just everyone has their own kind of things. Like me and Woody travel with our own like PlayStation and an Xbox that we play with. Nice. And in terms of, we used to, when we were in the van and there was one TV, we'd obviously all binge watch together. But now, because we've got a lot of space and
it's quite fun to like watch movies.
Trying to do film night.
Yeah,
do film night. We watched Hocus Pocus the other night. Oh yeah.
The cat. That one's particularly good, right?
Yeah, and a bunch of us recently watched the OA as well, which was great, which I really, really loved. Thought it was brilliant. Yeah, I guess like, it's funny with the bus because we all spend so much time together, but then it's also like, I think physically and mentally you get in your bunk and you shut the curtain and you have to sort of like almost imagine that you're not lying 3 feet below your drummer.
What a place to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, many would be envious. But yeah, I guess we all just do like as much as we can. Will reads a lot, and we've really enjoyed on this trip trying to make the most of our days off to really see stuff. And America is such an amazing country, but because it's so vast, if you're touring and you're short on time, you can spend, like you said, the whole time driving. Yeah. And also the drives are often at night, so you kind of miss out on a lot. But it's been amazing this time. We've made a real effort to, we went to the Grand Canyon and spent a day there. Yesterday we sort of actually got to see kind of in and around Boise and went river rafting, which was
nice. Wow,
amazing. We were the first for the company.
I was going to say it's early in the season and the water is high.
We were their first trip of the
season. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow, good job.
Cool. But it was it's that to be able to do stuff like that for us, living in London is an amazing privilege, and it was really, really fun. And so yeah, I guess it's in that respect, it's been this tour so far. It's been like over a month now, but it's been great in terms of trying to get out and see bits of North America.
Well, again, you answered a couple of my questions when you were talking about sort of a theme with the album and sort of like a soundtrack. One last question I just wanted to ask you guys about the mixtapes that you do, and if there's going to be another one, and if those mixtapes help you process new songs or think about doing things differently for the next record.
Yeah, they were really fun. It's funny, at the beginning, I think, before we released our album, and maybe it comes with having been a bit less busy and spending more time in London, but we were just so kind of relentlessly making music, and I think that's where the mixtapes came from, and we would absolutely love to make another one, and I think we 100% will. But you're right, it's kind of It's just about trying to find a week where we can just shut off to everything and make it in that space of time. But yeah, I've been sort of compiling a list of songs. It's a fun way to experiment with production and to do things, you know, in some ways to sort of push ourselves to do things we wouldn't do, but also just to kind of rip off other production techniques that we love. Like, you know, with the second mixtape, that was years ago now, but like, you know, trap was kind of just coming through, and we loved like Hudson Mohawk and the Tonight EP. So we were like, let's just do a version of Killer that's like hard trap, that like we could never get away with this if it was one of our songs, but in that space, you know, we feel like we can kind of do whatever we want, and it's really it's a really fun kind of like little place for us to kind of mess around.
Well, thanks you guys so much for having time for us today, because we really appreciate it. Super happy to have you on Boise, and looking forward to hearing new music from you guys in the future.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers.